Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive.
Yeah.
This time we're taking a look at herbal supplements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
specifically for women's hormonal health.
Right.
I've got
Okay.
I've got a stack of research here,
Mm-hmm.
articles, even some personal notes that you shared.
Right.
And I want to jump right in because,
Okay.
I'm super intrigued by this idea of using natural remedies
Mm-hmm.
to manage those hormonal shifts
Okay.
that impact everything from energy levels
Right.
to mood, to menstrual cycles, to menopause.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts just off the bat about that kind of approach?
I think it's really fascinating
Mm-hmm.
that there's a growing body of scientific evidence
Mm-hmm.
that's really supporting what traditional medicine has known for centuries,
Mm-hmm.
which is that certain herbs can play a very powerful role in managing these hormonal fluctuations.
Yeah, I've seen a lot about
Yeah.
these so-called hormonal balance supplements.
Yeah.
What exactly are those?
So these are usually blends of specific herbs
Mm-hmm.
that are thought to work with your endocrine system, which is this complex network
Yeah.
that is responsible for producing and regulating hormones.
Yeah.
And the idea is that these herbal ingredients
What?
can gently nudge those hormone levels back into a healthy equilibrium.
So rather than just sort of masking the symptoms,
Right.
the idea is to go to that underlying cause of the imbalance.
Exactly. Yeah.
But before we get into the specific herbs,
Okay.
can we just talk a little bit about the role of hormones in women's bodies
Sure.
and what happens when they get out of balance?
Absolutely. So hormones are like these chemical messengers
Mhm.
that orchestrate a wide range of bodily functions.
Right.
Think about everything from metabolism
Yeah.
to mood to sleep to reproduction to stress response.
Okay.
Hormones are involved in all of it.
Yeah.
And for women in particular, these hormonal shifts are particularly dynamic throughout life.
It really is it's like we're on a hormonal roller coaster from puberty to pregnancy
Yeah.
and then, that major transition into menopause.
Absolutely.
And, when things get out of sync, it can really impact our day-to-day life.
Totally. And
Yeah.
I think a good example of that is if key players like
Mm-hmm.
estrogen or progesterone or cortisol,
Mm-hmm.
if those get out of balance, you might experience anything from irregular periods or
Yeah.
painful periods to mood swings
Okay.
to hot flashes to low energy difficulty sleeping,
Wow.
even anxiety or depression.
So really runs the gamut.
It really does.
So no wonder that so many women are looking for natural ways to kind of find that hormonal harmony.
Yeah.
And in your notes, you mentioned 5 specific herbs
Yes.
that seem particularly promising in this area.
Hmm.
And I'm ready to dive into those herbal allies.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So let's start with maca root.
Okay.
So this is a plant that's native to the Peruvian Andes,
Wow.
and it's been used for centuries in traditional medicine. And while it doesn't actually contain hormones itself,
Oh, interesting.
research suggests that maca can have a positive impact on hormone balance,
Mm-hmm.
particularly for women who are experiencing mood swings and fatigue associated with menopause.
Okay.
So there was a study published in the journal Menopause
Okay.
that found that maca significantly reduced psychological symptoms,
Hmm.
including anxiety and depression in menopausal women.
So it sounds like it's not like an immediate fix,
Right.
but more of a way to kind of support the body's natural processes over time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a long game.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm also curious about ashwagandha,
Yeah.
which I often hear about in the context of stress management.
So ashwagandha is considered an adaptogen,
Hmm.
which means it helps the body adapt to stress.
Okay.
And as you know, stress is a major disruptor of hormonal balance.
Oh, for sure.
And it appears to work by regulating cortisol, which
Yeah.
is the stress hormone.
Yeah.
And when cortisol levels are chronically elevated,
Mm-hmm.
it can interfere with the production of other hormones,
Okay.
like estrogen and progesterone.
Gotcha.
So one study actually found that ashwagandha supplementation
Right.
led to significant reductions in cortisol levels
Wow.
and perceived stress in participants.
So by managing stress, it's kind of creating a more balanced internal environment
Yeah,
for those other hormones to function properly.
exactly.
Okay, what about chasteberry,
Yes.
also known as Vitex? My notes say that it's particularly helpful for women who are struggling with menstrual cycle issues.
Yes. So chasteberry has a long history of use for regulating menstrual cycles
Okay.
and easing PMS symptoms.
Gotcha.
And it's thought to work by acting on the pituitary gland,
Mm.
which is often referred to as like the master gland
Yeah.
because it controls several other hormone glands.
Right.
So by influencing the balance of estrogen and progesterone,
Okay.
Chasteberry can help make periods more regular and less painful.
Wow.
And studies have shown its effectiveness in reducing PMS symptoms,
Hmm.
like breast tenderness, irritability, and headaches.
So it sounds like that could be a game changer for women who experience those really debilitating monthly symptoms.
Definitely.
Now let's talk about menopause.
Okay.
That's a life stage where hormonal shifts can be really intense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your notes highlight black cohosh as a potential natural remedy for that.
So black cohosh is well known for its potential to ease those dreaded hot flashes and night sweats that are associated with menopause.
Yeah.
And while the exact mechanism is still being studied, research suggests that black cohosh may have estrogen-like effects in the body, possibly interacting with estrogen receptors.
Okay.
And some studies have shown that black cohosh is as effective as conventional hormone replacement therapy, or HRT,
Okay.
in reducing hot flashes, but without the same risks and side effects.
So it could offer a natural alternative for women who can't or choose not to use HRT.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, what's the final herb on our list?
So the last one is red clover,
Okay.
which is rich in phytoestrogens.
Which are plant compounds that have a structure similar to human estrogen.
Okay.
And these phytoestrogens can bind to estrogen receptors,
Okay.
potentially mimicking some of estrogen's effects.
Interesting.
So red clover is often used to help women navigate the hormonal shifts of menopause and may be particularly helpful for managing hot flashes
Okay.
and potentially supporting bone health.
So we've got maca, root for energy and mood, ashwagandha for stress,
Yeah.
chasteberry for menstrual cycles,
Uh-huh.
black cohosh for hot flashes,
Yep.
and red clover for those estrogen-related concerns.
Mm-hmm.
But how do these herbs actually work on a deeper level?
Yeah.
Are they like changing hormone production in the body?
It's not always about directly increasing or decreasing hormone levels.
Okay.
These herbs work through a variety of different mechanisms
Okay.
to influence how our bodies produce and utilize hormones.
Gotcha.
So, for example, red clover's phytoestrogens can bind to estrogen receptors.
While chasteberry appears to act on the pituitary gland, which then impacts the balance of hormones like estrogen and progesterone.
Okay, so it's more nuanced
Right.
than just boosting or blocking certain hormones.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's about subtly influencing these complex hormonal pathways.
Yeah.
Now that we understand a little bit about how they work, let's dive deeper into the specific benefits
Okay.
these herbs might offer. Yeah, it seems like these herbs offer like a range of potential benefits,
Right.
not just for specific symptoms, but for overall hormonal health. But what really stood out to me in the research you shared is like
Yeah.
the impact these herbs can have on a woman's experience throughout her life. Like, for example,
Yeah.
chasteberry could be like life-changing
Right.
for someone who's struggling with irregular or painful periods.
Totally. Imagine having more predictable cycles
Right.
and less painful periods.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a significant improvement in quality of life.
Totally.
And research backs this up. There was a study published in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine
Okay.
that found that chasteberry was effective in reducing pain and other PMS symptoms, and sometimes even more effectively than pharmaceutical options.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder why more women aren't aware of these natural options.
Right.
What about PMS? Are there herbs that can help with those premenstrual mood swings and other symptoms?
So there's promising research in that area as well.
Okay.
Chasteberry, as we discussed, shows potential for reducing bloating, breast tenderness, and irritability.
Yeah.
And while more research is needed,
Yeah, but
some studies suggest that ashwagandha, with its ability to regulate cortisol,
okay.
might help manage the emotional ups and downs of PMS
Okay.
by reducing that overall stress load on the body.
So it's about creating a more balanced internal environment so those hormonal fluctuations don't feel so dramatic.
Exactly.
And then there's menopause, which seems to get a lot of attention in the context of herbal remedies.
For good reason.
Yeah.
It's a time of major hormonal shifts
Mm-hmm.
that can bring about a whole host of challenging symptoms.
For sure.
Black cohosh and red clover, as we discussed,
Right.
have shown real promise for managing those symptoms.
Black cohosh for the hot flashes.
Yep.
And red clover for the estrogen-related concerns. But I'm curious, are these herbs only for women who are experiencing
Yeah.
like specific issues, or could they be part of a more proactive approach
That's a great question.
to hormonal health?
So while these herbs can be incredibly helpful for addressing specific concerns, they can also be part of a proactive strategy for maintaining hormonal balance throughout a woman's life.
So it's not just about putting out fires,
Right.
but about cultivating a healthy hormonal ecosystem, so to speak.
Exactly.
But are there any potential risks or downsides?
Yeah, that's a critical consideration.
To using these herbs?
So while generally considered safe, when used appropriately, herbal supplements can interact with other medications.
Yeah.
They can have side effects, or they might not be suitable for everyone.
Right.
So that's why it's crucial to consult with a healthcare provider before starting any new supplement.
Okay.
Especially if you have pre-existing health conditions, are pregnant or breastfeeding, or taking other medications.
So personalized guidance is key.
Absolutely.
But even with the best guidance, these herbs aren't a quick fix, right?
Exactly. It's important to manage expectations.
Okay.
Herbal supplements typically work gradually, and it can take weeks or even months to notice significant changes.
Wow.
So consistency is key.
Okay.
It's important to follow the recommended dosage and be patient.
So patience and consistency are as important as choosing the right herbs.
Absolutely.
What else should someone keep in mind when considering herbal supplements for hormonal balance?
So doing your research is essential. Look for high-quality supplements from reputable brands that use natural ingredients, avoid artificial additives, and are third-party tested for purity and potency.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to ask questions about sourcing and manufacturing practices.
So transparency is important.
Very important.
But even with the best supplements, I imagine lifestyle factors
absolutely.
play a significant role in hormonal health.
Think of herbal supplements as one tool in your toolbox.
Okay.
You know, for optimal hormonal balance, they work best in conjunction with a holistic approach to well-being.
So what are the key elements of that holistic approach?
So it starts with a nourishing diet.
Okay.
You know, focus on whole foods like fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, complex carbohydrates.
Okay.
These provide the nutrients that your body needs
Yeah.
to create and regulate hormones effectively.
So it's not just about what we avoid.
Right.
It's about providing the building blocks
Exactly.
for healthy hormone production.
Yeah.
What about exercise?
So regular exercise is crucial for regulating insulin sensitivity,
Okay.
which is key for maintaining stable blood sugar levels.
Gotcha.
It also helps manage cortisol, reducing that stress load on your hormonal system.
So it's about supporting those healthy hormonal rhythms through movement.
Exactly.
And we can't forget about sleep.
Right. Adequate sleep allows your body to repair and regenerate,
Okay.
including those crucial hormonal processes. Chronic sleep deprivation can disrupt the delicate balance of your entire hormonal system.
It seems like diet, exercise, and sleep are like the foundational pillars
They certainly are.
of hormonal health.
Yes.
And don't underestimate the power of stress management techniques.
Right.
Like meditation or yoga.
Absolutely.
So it's about creating a lifestyle that supports
Yes.
rather than sabotages hormonal balance.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
Good.
Wow, it's amazing how interconnected everything is.
It really is.
Diet, exercise, sleep, stress management, it all plays a role.
Yeah.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation. So I'm already thinking about how I can incorporate some of these insights into my own life.
That's great.
As we wrap up, is there one final thought you'd like to leave our listeners with?
I think the key takeaway here is that you have the power to advocate for your own health. Don't hesitate to ask questions, explore your options,
Right.
and work with a healthcare provider who supports your journey.
Yeah, I think finding a practitioner
Yeah,
who understands and supports a more holistic approach is key.
absolutely.
But what if someone isn't sure where to start? Are there any resources you recommend for learning more about herbal supplements and hormonal health?
There are some excellent resources available.
Okay.
Reputable websites like the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health
Okay.
or the American Botanical Council provide evidence-based information on herbal remedies.
Okay, those are great starting points.
What about books?
Books are great too.
Are there any authors or titles you particularly recommend?
Yeah, Aviva Rome is a Yale-trained physician and midwife
Okay.
who specializes in women's herbal medicine.
Okay.
And her books, Botanical Medicine for Women's Health and the Adrenal Thyroid Revolution are excellent resources.
I'll definitely check those out.
Yeah.
It's always helpful to connect with others who are on a similar journey.
Right.
Are there any online communities or forums that you recommend?
Yes, there are several online communities that focus on women's health and herbal remedies.
Okay.
Just be sure to approach online information with a critical eye.
Yeah.
And always consult with your healthcare provider
Right.
before making any significant changes to your health regimen.
It's all about finding that balance between gathering information from various sources and then making informed decisions with the guidance of a trusted practitioner.
Exactly.
Well, this has been such a fascinating deep dive.
Yeah, it has. Into the world of herbal supplements and women's hormonal health.
It's been a pleasure.
And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and given you some valuable insights to explore further.
Absolutely.
Remember, this is just the beginning of your journey.
It is.
We encourage you to continue learning, asking questions, and advocating for your health.
Yes.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
Bye, everyone.